For nearly 2 decades, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban seemed like the perfect Hollywood love story, the Oscar-winning actress and the country music icon who beat the odds. Their red carpet smiles, shared laughter, and glowing interviews painted the picture of an unbreakable bond. Fans called them the real deal, a rare romance that survived fame, addiction, and the relentless spotlight. But in 2025, that illusion shattered. Behind the smiles, cracks had been spreading for years. Quiet arguments, long silences, and nights spent apart in different cities. Insiders whispered about creative distance, but no one truly knew how deep the wounds went until Nicole finally spoke. After years of silence and subtle avoidance, the actress decided to tell her truth. And what she revealed wasn't a simple story of heartbreak, it was a confession of manipulation, emotional distance, and a love that turned into control. According to close sources, her decision to walk away wasn't about fame, jealousy, or new love. It was about survival. Keith Urban, the charming superstar adored by millions, is now facing the kind of spotlight no celebrity ever wants. And Nicole? She's no longer the quiet, smiling wife standing by her husband's side. She's the woman who's finally ready to expose what really happened behind closed doors, and the truth may change everything we thought we knew about Hollywood's most beloved couple. Because sometimes, the fairy tale doesn't end with a happy ever after. It ends with a revelation that shakes the entire industry. They were the golden couple, Hollywood's living proof that love could survive the spotlight. When Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban first crossed paths in 2005 at the Jade USA Gala, it felt like destiny was finally being kind to both of them. She was the poised, elegant actress who had just rebuilt herself after a painful breakup. He was the charismatic musician whose songs spoke about love, redemption, and second chances. From the very first meeting, something clicked. Their chemistry was undeniable, a mix of shy smiles, deep conversations, and an almost old-fashioned kind of connection that reminded people what real romance looked like. Within a year, they were married in a beautiful candlelit ceremony in Sydney, surrounded by family, friends, and the world's cameras. To outsiders, it was the perfect love story. Nicole, with her quiet grace, often called Keith her rock, while he described her as his anchor. They appeared hand in hand at every red carpet, whispering to each other like teenagers in love. Every public appearance became a reminder that true love still existed even in Hollywood. Fans adored them. Magazines called them the couple who made us believe again. Talk shows praised their loyalty, their balance, their faith in one another. When Keith struggled with addiction, Nicole stood beside him, proving her devotion in ways few could imagine. Together they seemed unbreakable, the kind of couple who could outlast anything. But beneath that glittering image, something quieter was brewing. Because even the most beautiful fairy tales can hide the darkest truths, and while the world was watching their smiles, no one noticed the subtle distance forming behind the flash of cameras, the beginning of an ending that no one saw coming. Every fairy tale has its shadows, and for Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, those shadows appeared sooner than anyone realized. Just a few months after their wedding, Keith checked himself into rehab, a quiet move that sent shockwaves through their new marriage. For many, it looked like a crisis, but for Nicole, it was a mission. She stayed by his side, shielding him from the press, canceling her projects, and choosing love over career. Those closest to her said she wanted to save him. Not just as a husband, but as a man she deeply believed could be better. But saving someone can take everything from you. As Keith's career began to soar again, Nicole's sacrifices grew heavier. He was constantly on tour, surrounded by the chaos of fame and temptation, while she managed family life and her own demanding film schedule. The distance grew not just in miles but in emotion. Whispers began to spread in Hollywood. They're living separate lives. Insiders described Nicole as patient, but exhausted, the quiet strength behind a man who seemed to always be running. Meanwhile, Keith's charm on stage started to contrast with his silence at home. Jealousy, insecurities, and unspoken tension crept in. Nicole wanted peace. Keith wanted freedom. What started as a love story built on mutual respect slowly turned into a cycle of saving and slipping away. Still, she didn't leave. She fought for the marriage, the image, and the man she thought she could still reach. But behind every red carpet smile, there was a quiet ache, the pain of a woman who was holding on to a dream that no longer wanted to be saved. In public, they were perfection. In private, they were strangers. Every smile was practiced. Every word rehearsed. Love turned into performance. For years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban continued to play their roles flawlessly. On red carpets, they held hands like young lovers, whispering into each other's ears as cameras flashed around them. In interviews, they spoke in gentle tones, praising one another's success, calling each other "my everything." Fans saw devotion, but those closest to them saw distance. Behind closed doors, the warmth had cooled. Conversations became polite exchanges, gestures became mechanical. What once was effortless connection now felt scripted, like two people trying to remember lines from a love story they no longer believed in. At premieres, Keith would lean in to kiss Nicole's forehead, the gesture that once melted hearts, but her eyes often wandered elsewhere, lost in thought. During award shows, her laughter seemed delayed, like she was responding to a cue. It wasn't deceit, it was survival. Both of them knew the truth, but weren't ready to let the world see it. Hollywood adored the illusion. Tabloids called them the last true romance, unaware that the fairy dust had long settled. Nicole, ever the professional, knew how to keep the curtain closed, smiling through silence, loving through loneliness. Keith, on the other hand, drowned himself in music and tours, escaping the home that once felt like refuge. Their marriage had become a mirror reflecting not love, but the memory of it. A performance so convincing that even they forgot where the acting stopped and the truth began. By 2025, the distance was impossible to hide. The fairy tale that once enchanted millions had dissolved into routine, silence, and separate lives. What began as brief absences, work trips, long shoots, tours became entire seasons apart. At first, Nicole believed space might heal them. She poured herself into her films, hoping that art could distract her from the emptiness at home. Keith buried himself in music, touring relentlessly, filling arenas but emptying his heart. Calls became less frequent, messages shorter. The warmth between them had cooled to politeness. Then came the moment that changed everything. Nicole returned from London after a film shoot, expecting a quiet reunion. But when she opened the door to their Nashville home, she found it silent. Keith was gone, no note, no explanation. Just a few missing clothes, a half-empty closet, and a message from his manager confirming what she already knew. He had moved out. For days she stayed inside, surrounded by memories that suddenly felt like props from another life, framed photos, awards, and smiling faces that belonged to strangers. The last public photo of them together smiling at a charity gala quickly went viral again, but now it looked different. The smiles looked tired, the space between them, unmistakable. When reporters asked her how she was coping, Nicole simply said, "Sometimes love ends quietly." It was the closest she came to confirming what the world had begun to suspect. The illusion had shattered. The woman who once stood by his side in everything now stood alone, dignified, heartbroken, but finally free from pretending. In March 2025, Nicole Kidman officially filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Just 4 words on paper, but behind them lay 19 years of love, sacrifice, and silent heartbreak. The news broke quietly, at first a single line in a court filing, but within hours, it was everywhere. Hollywood's strongest couple calls it quits. Nicole and Keith, the end of a legend. The world reacted with disbelief. For so long, they had been the symbol of endurance in an industry built on chaos. But even symbols get tired. According to insiders, the decision had been months in the making. Nicole wanted peace, not revenge. She didn't seek to expose, blame, or humiliate. She simply wanted closure. Friends say she had already emotionally moved on long before the paperwork was signed. Keith, on the other hand, was reportedly blindsided, struggling with guilt, regret, and the realization that the woman who once saved him was finally done saving. Publicly, their reactions couldn't have been more different. Keith took to social media, thanking fans for their support and asking for understanding during a painful time. His tone was emotional, almost pleading. Nicole stayed silent, her only statement delivered through her lawyer. Ms. Kidman wishes nothing but respect and privacy for her family. Her silence spoke louder than any interview could. It wasn't weakness, it was control. After years of living a love story in front of the world, she was choosing, at last, to end it on her own terms. The fairy tale had ended not with scandal, but with a signature and the quiet strength of a woman finally reclaiming her peace. In the weeks that followed, the truth slowly began to surface. What looked like a sudden breakup was, in reality, years in the making. Sources close to the couple revealed that Keith had quietly signed the divorce papers weeks before Nicole even filed a silent signal that the marriage had already ended long before the world found out. Friends of Nicole shared how deeply that realization hurt her. It wasn't the signing that broke her, one said. It was knowing he'd given up long before she did. She had been fighting for something that was already gone. As the media swarmed, every headline tried to piece together the puzzle. What really ended Nicole and Keith? Fans were divided, some heartbroken, others angry, many in disbelief. Social media flooded with old clips of the two laughing, holding hands, performing together moments that now looked bittersweet under the weight of hindsight. Nicole, ever composed, stayed mostly silent. But during a quiet interview months later, she said only one sentence that broke millions of hearts. Sometimes love isn't lost, it just stops being enough. Keith, meanwhile, poured his emotions into his music. His next single, rumored to be inspired by their split, hinted at regret and nostalgia. Some reports even suggested a new woman in his life, a fellow artist from his tour, though nothing was confirmed. For Nicole, healing didn't mean hiding. She began appearing at events again, radiant and poised, her silence more powerful than any confession. The fairy tale was over, but in its ashes, she found something stronger, her truth, her independence, and the peace that only comes when you stop pretending everything's perfect. Now, Nicole Kidman is rebuilding not for fame, not for image, but for peace. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, she isn't someone's wife, someone's anchor, or someone's savior. She's simply herself again, an artist, a mother, a woman who learned that love should never require losing yourself. Those close to her say she's calmer, lighter, almost glowing. She's spending more time in Australia with her family, focusing on smaller projects that make her feel rather than just perform. When asked about her next chapter, she smiled softly and said, "I'm learning to live quietly, and that's enough." Gone are the red carpets where every gesture was a performance, the headlines that defined her through someone else's name. In their place stands a woman who has faced the storm, survived it, and chosen peace over perfection. Keith, too, is moving forward his music, now tinged with reflection and remorse. Though their paths have finally diverged, both are learning that sometimes endings are not failures, but beginnings in disguise. Nicole's story has become more than just a Hollywood breakup. It's a reminder of resilience, of how even the most glamorous lives carry private battles, and how walking away isn't weakness, it's self-respect. Because in the end, the most powerful love story isn't the one that lasts forever. It's the one where you finally choose yourself. In the end, love doesn't always mean forever. Sometimes it means finally letting go. Nicole Kidman once said, "You can't control life. You can only live it." And maybe that's what this entire story was really about, not failure, not heartbreak, but freedom. After nearly 20 years of devotion, silence, and sacrifice, she chose peace over pretense. And in doing so, she reminded millions that no matter how beautiful a love story looks on the outside, it's what happens behind closed doors that defines the truth. Because sometimes walking away isn't an ending, it's the beginning of becoming yourself again. So what do you think? Did Nicole Kidman make the right choice by ending it when she did? Or should love be fought for no matter the cost? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love deep, true Hollywood stories like this one, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Celebrity Data for more untold celebrity journeys, emotional revelations, and powerful transformations from the world's biggest icons. Because in Hollywood, the truth is always more dramatic than the script.